Hi everybody, this is Gail Steeves and I want to go over the ICD-10 manual with you. This is my copy of the ICD-10 that I use at work, and I got my book through the AMA. And like we know that all of the vendors do have little different nuances in their book, but I'm going to show you what is in my book, and your book should have something that's very similar. So we're going to start here with the table of contents, and this will show you all of the chapters that we have in the ICD-10 book. We start with chapter 1 and we go to chapter 21. Also talks about our conventions that we have, and I know it's a little bit hard to see it, but just follow along in your own book. And then I have the different appendixes, and I also have some illustrations that are here in the book. Over here is the introduction to ICD-10. It talks about the start of ICD-10, so that's in our presentation for this week with our slide presentation. And it also states on how to use the ICD-10 book. So you should have something in yours that tells you how to use the book. So take a peek in there. It's very similar to what we were using in the ICD-9 book. We're going to look everything up in the alphabetical index, and we're going to verify it in the tabular. So that's what you are going to be striving for. Next are our conventions. And you know that you have the conventions in the ICD-10, in the ICD-9, and ICD-10 is the same way. We have the different, the format tells you how it's set up in the format. We have our punctuations, abbreviations. We have not elsewhere classified, not elsewhere specified. We have the bold typeface, the same as ICD-9. We have includes notes, includes terms, excludes notes, excludes 1, and excludes 2. That's a little bit different. Excludes 1 and excludes 2. So you can just take a peek. I do explain that in our presentation this week. We also have our symbols. We have our and with here. And remember, and means and or, the same as it does in ICD-9. And then all of your books is going to have this, some type of information that's going to show you that you need additional digits, or additional characters, I should say. So on the first one, it's telling me that I need to have 4th character, 5th character, 6th character, and 7th character. And then it's telling me that I'm going to need a 7th character with an X character, the placeholder code, or the placeholder character. So make sure that you're looking for that when you are looking at your alphabetical index. This is going to help you. This is going to show you where you need to go from your alphabet into your tabular. Your tabular list is going to show you that you need to have those additional digits, or additional characters. I'm sorry, I'm used to saying digits. So please make sure that you're looking for that. It's so very, very important to get the code right by getting all the character placements. And then we have our medical code edits. Talks about manifestations. We learned about our manifestations in the ICD-9. There are also symbols for ages. So in my particular book, those are what the symbols are. There's an N, there's a P, there's an M, there's an A, and then there's a male and female figure in there too. Okay, so in here, it's, talking about our guidelines. We know how important our guidelines are, right? So this is my guidelines, and it talks about our punctuations. Basically the same as ICD-9. the different punctuations, and then it talks about all our different chapters. And you can see that this is my book, and for work, and I have gone in and highlighted the things that are important for my particular job. So here are all of this. I'm working a lot in the musculoskeletal system in injuries, so I have a lot of things here that are relative for me. There we go for those. And then we have the alphabetical part. Starts with the letter A, obviously, and there it just continues on in here. I want to show you some of my things in here that I do have highlighted, because I go here, and in my book I have things that are important to me here. I do have delivery here, I have diseases, I have all of the alphabet here. I have things written up here for myself, so I can find things a little bit differently. So in our delivery, like in ICD-9, and then outcome of delivery, I put right on the top here the word outcome and Z37 with a slash there. That is so I don't have to look it up anymore. I know exactly where it is in the alphabetical index, and then I'm going to travel right over to the tabular. This is why I try to tell you to write things in your book, because it's very, very helpful. You see that some of my other notes here also. And I'm in fracture, I'm in infections, and I just put all of the things that are relative for me in here. Okay, next we're going to go to our neoplasm table. Very similar to the neoplasm table that we have in ICD-9. It has a malignant primary, malignant secondary, carcinoma in situ, benign, uncertain, and unspecified behavior. Okay? Over here is our unknown code. I highlighted that out because if we need to know the unknown, remember how sometimes the neoplasms are unknown? I highlighted it here so I don't have to be stressed out looking for that in the alphabetical index. The indexes are pretty small, so my eyes aren't what they used to be. So I try to highlight things out. Table of drugs and chemicals are still the same as what you guys just did. You're going to go with the drug in the alphabetical order, and then it's going to tell you the poisoning: accidental, intentional, assault, undetermined, adverse effect, and underdosing. And you see all of those are T codes, and they're going to go out to the 7th digit, or the 7th character. Sorry. Next are our external causes. This is going to have the same index just like we had in ICD-9. You're going to have your separate external cause index. Accidents, lots of them. They have really done a lot of work with this particular table, just to make us go crazy. Burns, all the way up to the war operations, a lot of things that are relative in today's world. And then I have listed out my chapters. I have my chapters listed out by the chapter and the alphabetical character and the digits that are there, and I have named them out. So I have chapter 1, A00 to B99, infectious and parasitic diseases. And each of the chapters that I have in my particular book has the coding guidelines here. So you're going to have it at the front of my book, and hopefully at the front, well, I know it's going to be in the front of your book. And in my particular book, the guidelines are here also. So again, I've highlighted things that are important to me. Then we have our neoplasms. Most of my information that I use is in the M chapter. Oops, sorry. So my guidelines are here, and they have some really nice tables here that talks about the different body regions and the muscles, extensor tendons, flexor tendons, and other tendons. This has been very helpful in my coding for what I do in the surgery center. I also have things highlighted in my book for more things that I do. Meniscus and ACLs, disc herniations, labrum. So this osteoarthritis, this helps me get to where I need to be a little bit faster. And it goes up all the way up until chapter 21. And chapter 19 is another one of the sections that I use a lot. I use the green ones that have been expanded to thousands and thousands and thousands of codes. Okay, so that's the end of this part of the book, all the tabular parts. And then I want to show you some of the appendixes I have. And the book is going to fall apart, so bear with me just a second while I pick it back up. All right, my Appendix A is going to show the steps for accurate coding. So this is helpful to look at, so you can make sure that you're doing the steps for your accurate coding. The B are your valid 3-digit codes. So we have that in our character codes. We have that also in our ICD-9 table. Appendix C is pharmacology. This is kind of pretty interesting. It talks about the drug and a drug action and any indications there. So this is not relative to what we're doing in our world, but it's great to have in there. So you can, I think many of you are taking pharmacology at some point, so this book may help you in doing that. And then it talks about principal diagnoses. We don't have to worry about those because we are not coding for the hospital. And then I also have some anatomy plates that are helpful to me, and will be helpful to you too. And I'm sure you have some type of anatomy plates in your particular book. So if you have any questions, just send me an email. Please send me the email to the HGTC one. I'm having a really hard time with the one that is through D2L. I cannot open that unless I'm home. So it's really important for you to send it to me at the HGTC one because I have that up at work, and I can use that on my iPad too. For some reason or other, I can't respond to anything when I am not in my regular environment at home. So you guys have a great day. Any questions, let me know. Thank you.